right. No,
The same God that different races that serve.
That's
the
right.
same God. So why would we bring that diversity?
That's right. That's right.
In our
That's
culture,
right.
from a physical
should.
aspect and
We
the
should.
spirit realm,
That's right. I agree.
it didn't even come this pre.
I agree.
This culture should do this.
I
Because the
agree.
This
spirit,
culture should do that.
the
That's
spirit's colorless.
That's right.
Like you
That's
said, it goes back to the enemy. It's
That's
the
right.
enemy that's working through
Through
people
Satan.
that
That's right.
have
That's
weak
right.
faith, because the devil's job, yes, is to kill, steal, and destroy.
Destroy. Yeah.
But that's his vision.
That's yeah.
But his mission is to cause every strife and division.
That's right. That's right.
And so
That's
long,
right.
so long as he keeping every strife and division among race,
Yes. Yes.
the man talk of religion,
Yes. Yes.
sex, gender, all this from the
Oh yeah. Also the enemy. That's right.
operating through people
That's
who
right.
have lost their faith or
That's
their
right.
insight
Right.
of biblical standards.
That's when
Right.
that's
That's
when it really hits you,
Yeah.
when you know you lost
Yeah.
your faith.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Because originally the America was created off God's law.
That's right.
But corporate America
That's right.
identified to see
Yeah.
how everyone would been able to be
Yeah.
successful.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they did much as possible
Uh-huh.
by lawmakers changing laws
Yes. Yes.
daily
That's
to
right.
change their laws to change the fabrication of people being successful.
That's right.
To keep the rich rich
That's right.
and the poor poor.
There you go.
In which
That's
9
right.
out of 10, everybody know, generally speaking, that there's majority of white people that's rich.
That's right.
The majority of poor people, or majority of black people that's poor.
That's right. That's how it is. That's how the system is set up. All right, let's go on. Let's get on. Let's get on to the last part of this. Disciplinary and institutional control allows those of us who are white, this is still speaking from white brother, white in North America, to live in a social environment that protects, you hear what this says, what this white brother is saying, allows those of us who are white in North America to live in a social environment that protects and insulates us from race-based stress. White people ain't got no stress on them when it comes to race. Not one bit. Because y'all don't deal with racism. Period. I ain't gonna say no more. We have organized society to reproduce and reinforce our racial interests and perspectives. Further, we are centered in all matters deemed normal, universal, benign, neutral, and good. Thus, we move through a wholly racialized world with an unracialized identity. White people can represent all of humanity. People of color can only represent the racial selves, their own selves. Did you hear that? Only white people can
Represent humanity, which is us as humans.
you see
Man's
that?
gone.
You see that? You see the division right there? But only we, as those that are going through the struggle, can only
Represent ourselves.
see that. Why can't we be a world of one? All right.
Like, they go back to the Planet of the Apes part. He said,
Mhm.
why can't we all just get along?
Yeah. All right, I want you. Let's go through some of these. I want y'all to call out some of these things at the bottom that we're gonna go through. Challenges to this identity become highly stressful and even intolerable. The following are examples of the kinds of challenges that trigger racial stress for white people. Brother Josh, read the first 3 or 4, and then Brother Dwight, you read 3 or 4, and then we're gonna move on.
Suggestion that a white person's viewpoints come from a racialized frame of reference. Challenge to objectivity.
Okay.
People of color talking directly about their own racial perspectives. Challenge to white taboos on talking openly about race.
Mm-hmm.
People of color choosing not to protect their racial feelings of white people. In regards to race, challenge to white racial expectations
Mm-hmm.
and need entitlement to racial comfort.
Oh, well, that's big. Entitlement. Okay. Go ahead, brother. One more.
Me or him?
You, Brother Josh.
Oh.
One more.
People of color not being willing to tell their stories or answer questions about their racial experiences. Challenge to the acceptation that people of color will serve us.
All right. Brother Dwight, read a few of those, sir.
The fellow whites not providing agreement with one racial perspective, challenging to white solidarity.
Mm-hmm.
So what it
Yeah. Receiving feedback that one's behavior has a racist impact, challenging to white racist innocence.
Mm-hmm.
Suggesting that group membership is significant, challenging to individualism,
Mm-hmm.
and acknowledgement that access is unequal between racial groups,
Yes.
challenging to myocracy.
Mediocrity.
Being presented with a person of color in a position of leadership,
Oh,
challenging
Just talk about that,
challenge to white authority.
yeah.
Being presented with information about other racial groups through, for example, movies, in which people of color drive the action but are not in stereotypical roles
Okay.
or multicultural education challenging to white centrality.
Okay, all right. That's good. So basically, that's what makes these things that we just talked about. That will put a white person or a Caucasian person on the defensive because they don't know how to address those issues. So when things come about race, they say, "Well, I'm not racist." Yes, you are racist because you are entitled to certain privileges and you are part of the system because you're benefiting it. So when you say, "Well, I got black friends," well, that don't mean anything. Yeah, you got a black friend, and what does that mean?
So it's basically saying, a person is saying, I'm gonna go out on a limb.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can use different categories. It's like a person saying, I'm not part of KKK, but you go to their meetings.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
Exactly.
saying, I'm not a gang member,
Yeah.
but you're going to the game meeting.
Yeah, exactly. So you still guilty by association. You're guilty.
It goes back to
Yeah.
denying its existence.
Exactly right. Exactly. All right, let's go down to the following patterns. Make it difficult for white people to understand racism as a system. It is a system, and lead to the dynamics of white fertility. While they do not apply to every white person, we just talking generally speaking, they are well documented overall. Let's run through these real quick. Brother White, give me the first three.
Segregation.
What does that mean? Segregation. We know about, well, you go back to the 60s and 50s and 60s,
Yeah.
black and white signs.
Yeah. Basically, this keeping the race separated.
Separate. Didn't we talk about this last week, Brother Josh? Separate but equal. How can you be separate but equal? You can't. There's no such thing.
No way possible.
So they kept parts that such as the whites would sit on one side or use the bathroom in one particular restaurant.
Yes,
as a whole,
yes.
Or we use one particular restaurant
Yeah.
as a whole while the
Yes.
blacks was not allowed. They
That's
had
right.
to use another facility.
Yes.
Or all the way to the point where segregation where white was only allowed to go to one certain school.
That's right.
While the blacks go to others.
That's right. And that's not,
Or
Yeah.
it goes all the way up to far as from a state.
We talked about that with the
One race were allowed to stay on this side of the tracks while the other didn't.
Didn't, that's
And
right.
Coming from a natural standpoint,
Yeah.
the blacks was able to stay on one side,
Yeah.
which was enslavement, and the white people stayed on the other side, which was freedom.
that's right. Hey, comfort. We just talked about that. What you was talking about, Josh?
goes back to the broadcast we did last week about when I was talking about the lady that she was the first black woman to go into an all-white school.
Oh yeah, that was in Arkansas.
Ruby Bridges.
Yeah, yeah.
And she really started with her.
They had the one that little nine as well.
The who?
The little nine. They had
Yep.
the black nine
Oh yeah, yeah.
individual who went to this. They was the first one who went to this white school. That's when Roosevelt had to send armies of troops
Yes,
out
yes,
there to
yes,
troops
yes.
to protect them.
Yes, and with this school. That's right. That's right.
They made a movie out of it. I can't remember the name of the movie, but they made a movie
They
out of
did.
it.
They did. They
And
sure
I
did.
saw
All
it.
right. Let's go to the next one.
The good, bad, binary.
Byron, go read through that very quickly, brother.
The most effective adaptation of racism over time is the idea that racism is conscious-based bias held by many people. If we are not aware of having negative thoughts about people of color,
Yeah.
don't tell racist jokes or nice. Don't tell racist jokes. They are nice people.
Okay.
And even have friends of color, then we cannot be racist.
And that's not true. Go ahead, brother.
Thus, a person is either racist or not racist. If a person is racist, that person is bad. If a person is not racist, that person is good.
Okay.
Although racism does of course occur in individual acts,
Yes.
these acts are part of a larger system
That's
that
right.
we all participate
That's
in.
right. That's right.
The focus on individual
Incidences.
incidents prevents the analysis that is necessary in order to challenge this larger system.
There you go.
The good and bad binary is the fundamental misunderstanding driving white defensiveness
Yes.
about being connected to racism.
Yes. Yes.
We simply do not understand how socialization and implicit bias works.
Implicit bias work. So what they're saying is basically is that our white brothers may say, well, I'm not racist.
Yeah.
I'm not part of that. Yeah, you benefit from that because the system has set it up so you can benefit from racism. But he says here, what you just said, brother, Thus, you said here that is a fundamental understanding while driving white defensive. White people get defensive if you call them racist. They'll get defensive. Well, I'm not racist.
Man,
I'm
ain't no
not white
racist, man. What you talking about? You
Yeah,
crazy.
but some people, I'm generally speaking, you get them behind closed doors, something go wrong, the first thing come out of my mouth is N-word.
That's right.
Yep.
Come on, let's just be real about it. You know what I'm saying? All y'all
I'm not
listen.
saying I wasn't racist in the past,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I'm not now.
yeah. All y'all just alike. Where did that come from?
You could tell.
We all bleed the same
You could tell
thing.
by the language.
Yeah, exactly.
They say, boy. I would say they would do anything. They would do anything to refrain from saying that individual. name.
Yeah.
They would say anything
Yeah.
to avoid saying that person's name.
That's true. That's true. Brother Dwight, give me one more, and then I'll get Brother Josh to read the last three.
Individualism.
What does that mean? White-
Basically, this particular person.
That's right. Whites are taught to see themselves as individuals rather than a part of a race group. But that's not true. You're part of that group and you're benefiting from the privilege of being white. Now, you may say, I'm not a racist person. Okay, but I guarantee you, you pushed in a corner, the first thing gonna come out of your mouth.
The worst thing in life is that you can see, but you can still be blind.
But now, let's flip the script. Now, come to a black person. When have you ever heard a black person say, because of my color, I'm better than somebody else? When have you ever heard that?
Never.
Never. When have you ever heard a black person call a white person out of their name?
Never.
Very rare.
Very well.
But when you push a white person, when it comes to defensiveness,
We're coming out swinging.
they coming out, they're going to call you N-word, they're going to call you boy, they're going to call you coon. Come on, let's be for real.
What's up, coon?
Well, but we talk about that later, brother. All right? So we're just trying to be real here, all right? That's why it's so hard for white people to address racism. One, because they don't understand the struggle. And two, they're very defensive because they try to separate themselves from that group of people that make race. But you are benefiting from the suppression of black people in other cultures.
And you can tell where the separation has took place. So they couldn't do enslavement
Yeah.
the way they did it prior before the law was passed.
Yes.
Of abolishing slavery, the 13th, 14th, 15th
14th Amendment.
covers that. But the thing is this, they just found a different way to do it.
It's a different way of doing it. Now, it may not, and I'm glad you said that, Brother White, it may not be so blatant among people as they did 100 years ago by lynching black people and doing things they do. Now, the police have taken over the role and committing the brutality.
They
The
have
police,
they switched they switched their tactics and their equipment.
Yes.
So now they're not walking around.
Uh-huh.
They not walking around or riding horses.
That's right. That's
They
right.
ride around in the car.
They driving around in a police car.
There you go, brother.
They sit.
Yes.
You know, the city still has the.
They getting voted in as elected officials.
Yes.
Politics without principles.
We talked about that.
So-
didn't we? That's right.
So slavery has not left.
It's still here, brother.
Physically, they cannot hang no one by their neck.
Yeah, but they can do it other ways.
But throw someone in jail, mentally, you hang
you're hanging them. That's right. What were you gonna say, Brother Josh?
I forget.
Okay. All right. But you're right, brother White. You're right.
So racism has not left.
It has not left. It will not leave.
They just switched up their method of doing things.
Yeah, and the reason why it has left because they still greed, they still want power, and they want to have control. So it will never leave, ever.
So the law says that they can't enslave us,
Yes.
but they're using
Well,
the
they
same
still-
laws
To put us in jail.
that was what was created to
Protect us. That's right.
They are now using it against
us. That's right.
So then that's why that's why the God said my people
Good.
perish for the lack of
The knowledge, yes.
The devil is attacking different ways,
Yes.
but he's fighting for one mission.
That's right.
And so if you think about it,
Uh-huh.
so he have this race,
Yes.
the same race.
Yes.
Again, you had the body of Christ.
Yes.
And I'm going to do it as well. The devil, he operates the same way.
Yes.
So you have you have this whole the white race as a body.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
that's
It's like a
has,
totem pole.
Yes.
that's doing different things.
Yes, yes.
So you have the white supremacists dealing with, or the white people dealing with culture, far as from a
Yes.
media standpoint with the music.
Yes, that's
So
right.
now that same spirit is coming down
That's
on our
right.
black
That's
race.
right. That's right.
Now you
That's
have these guys that's going through the struggle.
Yes, yes.
And you don't have these
Yes.
guys really living up to it.
That's right.
And so the music introduction is impacting them of how they're responding
That's
to
right.
their struggle.
That's right.
So now you have God that's out here implementing the same
Uh-huh.
thing that they see on
Uh-huh,
television.
uh-huh,
Then on the other hand, you have the other white guys that's lawyers or that's
Sure,
or
sure.
police officers.
Preacher brother Dwight.
And then you have these young guys that's implementing
Yeah.
what they see for to what
Yeah.
hip hop is doing.
Exactly.
Yes,
And
yes.
then you had the white culture that's a law enforcement officer
That's
shooting
right.
them because of
That's
what
right.
they saw on
The
TV.
There you go. Woo! Good God from that.
Brother Dwight preaching tonight, brother.
You see the democracy.
I see it, brother. I'm with you, brother. I'm glad you're getting on it. All right, brother Josh, give me those last three there, brother. Then we're gonna get ready to move on and close out.
Entitlement is a beast.
That's all right, brother. That's all right.
Entitlement to racial comfort.
We ain't even gotta go there. Entitlement. They want white Americans want to have comfort. Anything that got to deal with race, they already got the privilege. So when you push them up against the wall when it comes to race,
They coming out. They
they're
coming out.
gonna become with vulgar. They're gonna be defensive, so because they feel that they're entitled. What do you mean you entitled? You ain't entitled to anything, but you.
Entitled to nothing.
Yeah, but they created a system so they can be entitled.
For one, they feel like they're entitled because they feel like that this is their land.
Yeah, well, that's
Let's
documented.
go back before
The Indians
Independence
actually-
Day. Who
the
they got it
Indians.
from?
Yeah, that's right. It's over the Indians. That's right. That's right.
So everything that they took or tried to work
Yes.
for was always
Yeah, it never belonged to them in the first place.
it never belonged to them. It was always inefficient.
They stole, killed, and did everything they could to get in control.
Racial arrogance.
And that's it. They're very. Generally speaking, some white people are very arrogant
That's right.
when it comes to race. Very arrogant. You know, they feel they're better, and they and you can tell the way they talk. I go in
By the
this.
way they walk.
By the way they walk and talk, I go in the store sometimes and I can tell somebody, you know, I'm a dark-skinned brother, okay? And I can tell some people, they still drop money in my hand, don't even want to touch my hand.
Some people they just sit on the counter.
Yeah,
They put on this
yeah,
act
yeah,
of professionalism.
yeah. But
But they ain't racist.
But they still falling
Yes.
more with
Yes.
what they was taught.
that's right, that's right. That dark-skinned
So
people or black people are
you place
bad.
some money in their hand, they
Yeah.
take it when they get done,
Yeah.
they place it on the
They don't
counter.
pay on the counter, that's
Make
right.
it seem like that they not. They denying it,
Yeah.
but they still implementing
They still
the
admit
different
it. That's
traits.
right, that's right, that's right.
Racial belonging.
Good God from Zion. Woo! That's self-explanatory. White people enjoy a deeply internalized, largely unconscious sense of racial belonging in the United States because it was built for them. It was built by them, by their foreparents. It was built for them. So they feel that they belong, like you just said. They feel that it's theirs. This is my country. It ain't the blacks' country, it's our country.
That's right.
And that's how corporate America is set up.
Yeah.
We go.
And that's why you always seen all the way from Obama to the first president.
Yeah, yeah,
It was always a white person.
yes, yes. Oh,
They feel like a black man wasn't adequate enough
Yeah.
to fulfill those positions.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And but they still giving him a hard time ever since he been in there.
Still giving him a hard time.
Fight against everything he tried to do. I ain't gonna say I agree with everything that Obama has done, but give the man a chance and stop bickering and stop fighting and work with the man.
Allow him to break some cycles.
They don't want
Generation and curse.
but they don't want to do that. They don't wanna do that.
Psychic freedom.
All right, we ain't gonna deal with it. We gonna move on. We got 10 ways white people are more racial than they realize. We get ready to close this thing out. I'm gonna read this, and then brothers, I want you to take 3 or 4. Brother Dwight, I want you to take 3 or 4. Is there anything our Afro-National Dialogue on race has taught us? It is that there are no racists in this country, which we know is not true. In fact, not only do multiple studies confirm that most white Americans generally believe racism is over, they do. They think, well, if you work hard, you can achieve. That's a lie.
That's right.
That's a lie. Because the system is set up stacked against minorities in certain areas. Yeah, we got some black people that have achieved some things, but majority of them are not going to climb out.
Yeah, systematically, it's built. It's like Vegas. When you go to Vegas,
It's already against you anyway.
when you gamble, it's built
Yes.
systematically
Yeah.
and mathematically.
Yeah, to go get you.
So the
Yes.
thing is,
Yes.
the system has a certain amount of money
Yes.
that's contained in it.
Yes.
And so that system only gonna release out
There's so much.
so much.
That's right.
Because that
That's
system still got to make its money.
Hey, gotta make it. There you go, brother Dwayne. Boy, you smart.
So
What you saying there, son?
that system's not gonna release all the money.
That's right. That's right.
So then it's not. Then it's not gonna
That's right.
be. It's not gonna have a purpose.
That's right. Ain't gonna have a purpose no more. You right.
People not gonna come to use it no more. So you have the white culture. They allow different black people to succeed.
He's right.
Brother Dwight preaching
He
tonight.
talking the truth.
They have
He
different.
telling